What's going on, guys? So I've just got back from Brazil, well, a few days ago, in fact, and I just wanted to make this video essentially to report on how it was from the perspective of a black guy from the UK who went and seen what the fuss was about in Brazil. So I was there for 3 weeks, which I think was an amazing amount of time, which felt so short. It felt like 2 days, and I was back in the UK, even though I was there for 3 weeks. It was really quick. It went really quick, but even though it just goes to show how much of a good time one can have if such a long period of time feels so short. So yeah, I'm here to report on the findings and essentially let you guys know how it was and if I recommend that you go and give it a chance, which by the way, you should absolutely go and give it a chance. So I did this slightly different to how most of the solo travelers would have done, in which they would have just gone by themselves, and I would hope they would still have a fantastic time. But the way in which I went about going to Brazil was I initially had met someone through a language learning app which I had built rapport with for about just less than a year. So obviously when I arrived, they were there to help me out and show me Brazil through the lens of a local, as opposed to myself going on my own and doing all the tourist stuff that I would have done without the girl. So me having done that, I think I would honestly recommend that a lot more travelers do that if they wish, because it makes things a lot easier. Like, I'd been studying Portuguese and I thought my Portuguese was pretty decent, but once you start hearing them speak, and especially with them speaking in slang for the most part, it's like, what are you talking about, bruh? So having her there really helped me out a lot when I was, let's say, checking into an Airbnb, at the metro, ordering food and stuff like that at the beach. So, and it really helped with the languages as well, hearing them speak and how they speak and stuff like that. So, and that's how I did it slightly different, in which I spend the entire duration of my holiday with this beautiful Brazilian woman, and she was beautiful, man. It was worth the 21 days we were together, and it was beautiful. She was gorgeous, creme de la creme. So yeah, the dating aspect that I had, which a lot of guys obviously want to know about, I can't cover too much because I was just with one chick the whole time. So I can't say that me approaching loads of different girls, this is how they were, yada yada yada. But I will say there is a lot of attractive women in Brazil, a lot. A lot more than where I'm from, I'll tell you that, which does make sense. It's a bigger country, there's more diversity, and yada yada yada. You get the picture, right? So off the bat, there are an extremely large amount of attractive people, and of course women. For my guys, they're there, bro. And if you're someone especially who loves afros the way I do, they're gonna be in abundance. There's a lot of girls in Africa, and it's so good to see they embrace the natural hair aspect of things, which I just love it. I love afros, bro. What can I say? You know what I mean? And that's there in abundance. The way the girl that I was with, the way she treated me was better than I could have ever asked for. To be completely honest, would wake up early. She would make breakfast. Not that I expect this to be the case, but it's nice. It's refreshing, you know. You just make breakfast, wake me up, let me sleep or whatever. Have things planned out. You should have seen when I got there, she had the whole thing planned out. So I think even as little as that might seem, it goes a long way in showing the type of person that they are, right? In that they're looking after you, you're their guest in their country, and of course she does like me at the same time, so that helps out a lot. And she's also very attractive, which which is also a super bonus. I will say it doesn't come across as they're heavily materialistic as opposed to how it is in the West, especially considering how attractive they are. Because I can only imagine a girl that attractive in the West. Eesh, you'll probably she's probably gonna expect a lot, and it's not to say that her not expecting a lot doesn't diminish her character, doesn't mean that she knows her worth or whatever. They're just more down to earth. You know what I mean? And it's in the culture when you see the people. Everyone's walking around in Havanas or flip flops, you know, tops off, shorts. It's very, very laid back. And seeing it with your own eyes, it starts to make sense how even the really attractive women are just cool. They're just down to earth. They I perceive them as being very approachable. You know, as I spoke to loads of people, everyone's very friendly. It was brilliant. So the dating aspect, I can only cover so much because I wasn't able to uh, be a single dude roaming around and chatting up different girls. So I can't report from that aspect. But how this one girl treated me, absolutely fantastic, and I will certainly be seeing her again. You're damn right. You're damn right. The second is obviously the beaches and the weather, dude. I suppose it's summertime. I went during Rio Carnival, so it's to be expected that the weather's really good. I can't speak on other seasons, but from when I was there, it was amazing. I think it's one of those with Rio, right? Looking at it through pictures will never do it justice. Even if you have a VR headset, my guy, it just does not do it justice. If you want at some point to go to Rio, you go, bro. I would say go. You know what I mean? Because looking at pictures and wondering and imagining how you think it might be is not, bro. You have to go with your own eyes. It's really that beautiful. It's gorgeous, and I had a fantastic time. And I would imagine that you would too. Another aspect to touch on is safety. There is a lot of police presence within Copacabana and Ipanema, Zona Sul area. So I didn't encounter anything that seemed crazy or like anyone running or anyone getting stabbed or nothing like that. And that's not to say that it doesn't happen within my time there. I just never seen it. And I felt very safe walking around Copa and Ipanema. Oh, I was in the bridge between them. I felt very safe walking around the area, even at times by myself. I felt pretty safe, I'll be honest. I think it helps that I'm a black guy and the fact that I was blending in. Like I said, I was walking around with flip-flops. I had no jewelry. I had more or less plain t-shirts for the most part and shorts. And for me, I like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to gain someone's respect, I guess if that's the word to use, because I'm dripped out in Gucci. I don't care what you think, my friend. Who gives a fuck? So the fact that I was blending in, I think really helps out, and I would advise that anyone else who thinks to visit, that you don't stand out or look like a foreigner. Like, people didn't think that I was a foreigner until I spoke to them. They just thought that I was some other Brazilian or some favela kid, but I'm not. But they didn't know that until they spoke to me. So it was very interesting to see that. So I would say if you can blend in, then that increases your safety chances by a significant amount because you're just another Brazilian. You're not a gringo. You're not a lick. You're not someone I can just pull up on and rob, essentially. So safety, there's a heavy police presence within Copa, a lot more than I actually expected. I was like, geez, like I'd moved from one block to another. There's police there, there's like two there, so you feel very safe. So um but on the other side as well of safety is how the environment is. There's few homeless people, a lot more than I actually expected to see. There's a lot of homeless people that just in the streets. I mean, that's what homeless people are, isn't it? But I'd heard about it, but when you see it, I'm just like, why you, like, yeah, okay. Circumstances, I can't really say why you there. You don't have a home, and circumstances are circumstances, but it's just kind of like, okay, it's just there. It's just, yeah, there's homeless people there, man. I suppose, which there is everywhere, pretty much, except for maybe the Arab nations, like in the major areas. That's to say, that could be in more rural parts of the land. So yeah, be prepared to see some homeless people, right? Which again, they are all over the world. But yeah, it's there, so I have to mention it. Moving on, transport was very, 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 very good. You can get from one side of Zona Sul of Rio to another. I think it's just in the Zona Sul area for like £1.50, $1.50. It's really cheap. It's really cheap, as opposed to here in the United Kingdom in London. If you start from A and you want to get to B or C, the further you go in the alphabetical chain of destinations, the more you pay. As opposed to in Rio, if you want to go from A, B, C, D, you're gonna pay the same amount as if you want to go from A, B, C to D to Z. Is the same amount, so that's super convenient. And I believe it's more or less the same for the trams and the buses, which you use this card type thing, and you just use it for all of them, which is super convenient. Another one is Ubers. Ubers are dirt cheap, and I abused I absolutely abused Ubers. There was times I was with my girl and she was like, "Oh, we can get the bus." I'm like, hell no, bro. I'm not waiting around for a bus. Even though I do that in the UK, I do ride buses. I'm not some upper class asshole who just doesn't ride buses. I just didn't want to ride buses there because I'm on holiday. I want to get from A to B very quick. So yeah, there was times she was like, "Let's get the bus." I'm like, hell no, bro. We're getting an Uber and we're going. And I got so many Ubers. And what made me really realize how cheap they were is when I first returned to the United Kingdom and I got a taxi. Taxis are usually more, but this just puts it into perspective. A taxi from the train station to my house, it was about $7. That same distance in Brazil is like $1. I shit you not, it is about $1. That same distance, and I realized, I was like, jeez, I'm getting finessed out here, bro. I'm getting finessed in the UK, bro. But yeah, moving on. Another thing that is reasonably priced is the food. The food is cheap for my standards, and especially when I was eating with my girl, it was very cheap. Like, it would come back, and I've like paid like $20, £20 for the both of us, and that's including drinks. And the thing is, that's a meal that easily would be about, let's say, 50, 60, £70 in the United Kingdom. That is a lot of money, guys. That is a lot of money to save, and that's a good meal with beers and drinks and food for both of us. £20. What? What? So the food is extremely reasonably priced, and I figured. And the thing is, the further out you go from the tourist areas, which we went to Arial and Cabo, if I could recall the names properly, bro, we got a liter of beer for $2. A liter of beer for $2, and our meal was like, I think it was what, £8. Like, this was in a complete remote area, so the further out you go, it's even more cheap. So £8 for two of us and a $2 beer. That's a what, $2 liter beer. Oh. Oh my god, dude. I can't believe it. It was yeah. It was nice to experience because I actually felt that I had more money than I obviously would do if I'm in the UK. Like, I have a good amount while I'm in the UK, but once I was there, I was like, I could get used to this. I'm not gonna lie, I could get used to it. So yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. The fact that things were affordable, extremely affordable. Now, for the Brazilians, of course, it would probably be still quite expensive, given that the wages they receive from their jobs more or less match the price of things there. So how things are for me in the UK, to where I would perceive as expensive to some extent, it matches Brazilians for them, for their stuff, because the amount of money they get isn't, it matches. You get what I mean? I don't have the words, but you understand. But yeah. But honestly, yeah, I mean, what more to cover in regards to my trip? I mean, this channel, I'm gonna keep having it, so I'm gonna keep uploading stuff with the questions that you guys have going forward. I will be returning to Brazil on March the 19th, and I'll be there for 2 months. So I'm gonna be uploading a lot more content, boots on the ground while I'm there. So I'm really trying to think if there's anything I've missed, which there probably is a ton. I just hope that I've had like some B-roll popping up here and there as I've been speaking. But yeah, what an amazing trip. Rio de Janeiro has changed my life, so much so that I'm going back, like I said, on the 19th of March. Only back here for like a month, and I'm going back. What? What the fuck? But yeah, fantastic. If you have any doubts about going, go. It is beautiful. Learn Portuguese. Yeah, let's not forget that you actually have to learn Portuguese. Look, no one speaks English. The only time I spoke English was with other expats, with other gringos, and that was like four of them. I only came across like four of them, bro. So yeah, learn Portuguese. Yeah, but that's that for now. I will be back. So subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.